Time now to talk politics with John Brummett, columnist for the Democrat-Gazette and contributor to Talk Business and Politics. You can catch his latest read in the most recent edition of our magazine, which is hot off the press. John Brummett, welcome.
Good to be here.
Let's go to some national politics first, because it's been a lot of fun to kind of watch what's been going on in Washington, D.C. Paul Ryan, elected as the next U.S. Speaker of the House. Can he end the dysfunction in Washington, D.C.?
I think he can end the big dysfunction. I think John Boehner has ended the big dysfunction for the next couple of years by making this deal, for doing this, the nation a great favor, by taking shutdowns of government and an inability to raise the debt ceiling off the table through the presidential election. I'm sure there are things that the Freedom Caucus can do to complicate Ryan's life in the interim, but after this period of considering this cycle of shutdown and threat of shutdown and debt limits that don't get raised and bills that may go unpaid and global markets that may be disturbed, I think we're going to have Ryan has got a pretty good chance to just try to keep everybody reasonably happy, because it's all about who's going to be our next president anyway. We're just trying to get to there. That's when we're going to find out where the country's going.
Democrats seem okay with Ryan as there, even though he was the vice presidential nominee 4 years ago.
I saw Joe Biden, who debated him, say on 60 Minutes, we can work with Paul Ryan, and I thought that would ruin Paul Ryan's chances, but it didn't. And I think he's going to be able to, I'll use the word pander to the right wing a little bit and keep them happy, because the big threats, shutdown and debt ceiling issues and government spending, those are off the table for a while. Boehner did everyone a great favor at the end, I think.
All right, GOP presidential debate, the third one that we have had in the last several weeks here. Biggest winner, biggest loser to you?
The biggest winner, I think, even though what conventional wisdom says is the winner seldom shows up in the polls in this race. And Trump always turns out to be the winner, even though I thought he was ridiculous.
Right.
But I'll apply only conventional wisdom. Rubio is the big winner. Rubio was near brilliant in his command. He appealed as both an outsider and as the mainstream alternative. And when Jeb Bush decided to pick a fight with him, it was ugly. He just destroyed poor Jeb. And I think for the moment, and this is very fluid, but if the conventional wisdom is true that at some point it will no longer be Trump and Carson and some mainstream candidate will emerge, for the moment, that's not Jeb Bush, it's Marco Rubio.
All right, and so who was your biggest loser?
Biggest loser? Oh, you're going to have to ask me harder questions than that. Jeb Bush just had the worst debate I've ever seen. He came in needing to stop his hemorrhaging. He came in with this plan to take a swipe at Rubio, and it was comically bad. And then he ended up at the end of the debate talking about fantasy football. I don't know how that happened. But it was just...
Well, it was CNBC, so of course.
The big loser...
Wasn't ESPN.
Some people are saying the big loser is the media. Everybody hated the media to begin with. Nobody hates the media more as a result of that. I do think CNBC will be hard-pressed to ever get another Republican debate. I thought the questioners were absurd, comical, and argumentative. I mean, I don't have any objection to the criticism of CNBC's performance.
All right, so the media was your big winner, is what you're saying.
Me is a big loser.
No,
Me is a big loser.
All
but right. Jeb and the media are tied for big loser. Rubio the big winner.
Let's turn our
Huckabee also was there, by the way. He
files on Monday.
Yeah, he's gonna. I wonder if he can carry Arkansas. We'll worry about that toward March, right?
Governor Hutchinson's chief of staff, former Senate President Michael Lamoureux, accused of receiving $120,000 in fees channeled to his one-man law firm from some lobbying groups and through a PAC. His lack of disclosure may have been violation of Senate rules, but the governor said he sees no ethical complaints or violations. You've written on this week. Ace is a former federal prosecutor. He's a former white-collar criminal defense lawyer. What is the legal transgression here? Is there one?
There is none. As I wrote in my column, he got nowhere near breaking any law. He got nowhere near doing anything that's an ethical violation. Lawyers, I remember when we passed the disclosure laws, a lawyer named Mike Beebe was explaining to me that you can't have a lawyer disclosing his clients and his retainers, and you can't do that. They get to just say where they get their money, meaning generally from their law firm. That's all they have to disclose. So I catch this as something between inappropriate and corrupt. It's not nearly corrupt, but it's more than inappropriate. And I'm not picking on Lamoureux, who I like very much, like nearly everybody else who deals with him. But this idea that you can be president of the Senate and you can take money from a political advocacy group that itself is taking money from special interests and reap $120,000 from it, and we only found out because the tax form of that nonprofit group was investigated, found by somebody. It's just, we have an ethically impure state government culture. We simply do.
Doesn't every state, though?
I guess every state does, but the one I live in and write about mostly is this one. We can use these examples to educate people, but that, I thought forgive me for rambling, but the loan by lobbyist Bruce Hawkins to Senator Jake Files, Chairman of Revenue and Tax, while perfectly legal, fully disclosed, is something that shouldn't happen. I don't believe. And I think legislators are actually talking about that, because a loan between two parties is indeed a business transaction. It can also be a favor.
They could do business transactions of other sorts.
I'm
not trying to defend that, but I mean, you could buy office furniture from someone, and that could be a business transaction.
Right.
If they're a furniture dealer.
No, but this was just a loan. Yeah. I mean, I would prefer, if I need money, to not go to a bank. If I say I need $30,000, I'm going to come to you.
You're going to come to me instead of going to a bank?
Yeah.
Well, you won't get $30,000.
Okay. Right.
All right, we're out of time. He is John Brummett with
Okay.
the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, top business and politics contributor. Thank you so much.
Thank you.